What really happened behind the closed doors of Jungkook's house? Why is Taehyung the only one invited by Jungkook's family to his personal victory celebration after returning home from America? And why did the army actually find hidden clues from their posts that made hearts pounding and minds full of question marks? Is this a sign of a relationship that is more than just friendship? Or is there something much deeper that we have never known before? No one expected that the evening would turn into an emotional splash that shook the biggest fandoms in the world. The army, who usually cheer happily whenever two BTS members are seen together, this time was shocked by a fact that made many of them speechless, even crying. A small fact that slowly grew like a storm. Taehyung, without any official announcement, without a joint post, stayed a full night at Jungkook's house. And even more astonishingly, he was not just an ordinary guest. He was the only one personally invited by Jungkook's family in celebration of Jungkook's success during his stay in America. So, why wasn't this announced publicly? Why is there only one blurry photo from the background of the kitchen of the house that allegedly belongs to the Jungkook family, with a man wearing green pajamas similar to Taehyung's? Is this a coincidence, or is there a hidden message behind this silent presence? And what was the meaning of Jungkook's glaring eyes in the live video he made the day after the meeting? One that looked softer, grateful, but also kept something unspoken. Many fans have asked, why not Jimin? Why not Jin or RM, who have been known to be closer to the Jungkook family? Why exactly was Taehyung chosen, and not as a member of BTS, but as someone who seems to have a special place in the hearts of the Golden Magnates family? A source from HYBE's internal staff, who declined to be named, said that Jungkook's family had long held a special admiration for Taehyung. Taehyung has always treated Jungkook not as an artist, but as a younger brother who must be taken care of, he said slowly. However, if it was like that, why was everything done so secretly? Is there anything the public should know? That night, the John family's house in Busan is coated in a warm atmosphere. No cameras, no live broadcasts, no official documentation. But neighbors around claim to hear the sound of soft laughter, slow jazz music, and several times the sound of a guitar that is said to be played by Jungkook himself. Taehyung, who is known for his keen sense of art, reportedly sat with Jungkook's father for nearly an hour just to talk about classic Korean movies and poetry. Meanwhile, Jungkook's mother is seen bringing Taehyung's favorite food, homemade tteokbokki with extra hot sauce. What's up with all this? The next morning, netizens found a surprising clue. In the photo story that was uploaded by one of John's family friends' accounts, which was soon deleted, a man can be seen leaning on the living room sofa in a very familiar sleeping position. One hand closes his eyes, one leg bends casually, typical Taehyung style when falling asleep. Was the photo deliberately shown and then deleted to cause curiosity? The army's reaction was divided. Some consider this a sweet moment between two best friends who grew up together since adolescence. But others pick up on deeper signals. Some have suggested that this isn't just about friends, but about the Jungkook family's seemingly high trust in Taehyung, perhaps even exceeding trust in anyone outside of their nuclear family. The question is, what really happened last night? Why is there no documentation from Jungkook or Taehyung? Though usually they do not hesitate to share moments of togetherness, especially when it comes to big achievements like the one Jungkook recently achieved in the US. Was it because the meeting was too personal? Too emotional? Or too meaningful for both of them to choose to keep it just for them? The observant army began to attribute some strange signs in Jungkook's behavior after that night. During a live session, when asked who he had been in contact with most during his time in the US, Jungkook simply laughed softly and said, "Someone you didn't think I would call." Suddenly the comments exploded guessing, but nothing he confirmed. A few hours after the live, Taehyung uploaded a picture of a black cloud with a caption, "Sometimes the best things don't need to be highlighted by the camera." Coincidence? Or a silent confession? When all this happened, the other members chose to remain silent. Jimin, who is usually the most vocal about the 95-line trio's friendship, was noticeably absent from social media for 3 days. Jin, who had just completed his mandatory military service, only made a brief comment in a post. "Proud of you guys." Neutral, but meaningful comments. BTS leader RM wrote on his Instagram story, "As we grow older, We learn to choose silence for the things that matter most. Does that mean the other members know what's really going on? Is there something that is being protected by everything? And if so, does the army have a right to know? Question after question kept popping up. But the most haunting thing is this. What did Taehyung say to Jungkook that night that made the magne who is known to be strong and full of spirit look so calm, even wiser than usual? Some speculate that Taehyung is relaying a message from his mother, or maybe a personal message that cannot be shared with the world. Something that can only be understood through looks and togetherness that does not need explanation. As the army searched for further traces, an old post from 2017 went viral again. In the video, Taehyung once said, "If one day I have to stay with any member, I will choose Jungkook. Because she's not just a sister to me. He's home." A sentence that was once considered sweet has now turned into something that shakes the heart, as if it were a piece of a puzzle that has been lost. Does Jungkook feel the same way? Is the celebration not only about career success, but also about a relationship that has been so carefully guarded from the world's spotlight? And if so, are the soldiers ready to accept a truth that might leave them speechless for a moment, but finally understand that behind the glitter of the stage, there is a bond that is far more sincere, pure, and deeper than just friendship? It's not over yet. We are still waiting for an explanation, or maybe a longer silence of both. But one thing is for sure, it wasn't an ordinary night. It was a night to be remembered, a night that holds thousands of meanings, and a night that changes the way we see both forever. And one final question still looms. What really happened at Jungkook's house, and will that night change everything? If we go back through the recordings and archives of the interactions between Jungkook and Taehyung before their breakup, one thing starts to feel awkward. Their intimacy is slowly fading away. And it's not because they move away naturally. There's something like being pulled back. Restricted. In the final footage from their pre-breakup concert, the camera captures a small gesture as Taehyung almost hugs Jungkook, but he stops. He pulled her hand. Jungkook saw it. They looked at each other for just a second, and then both smiled. But that smile, to the sensitive army, felt unreal a few days after the concert. HYB released a promotional photo that was initially taken for granted. But the army quickly caught on to something different. In the photo, Jungkook and Taehyung's sitting positions are made far apart, with clear visual elements separating them. A large gray curtain in the middle, backlighting that obscures Taehyung's sides, and the focus of light leaning more towards Jungkook. Professional visual editors from the army design community revealed that this composition is too deliberate to be called a coincidence. So, why does HYB seem to be so persistent in creating visual distance? Then came the shocking confession from their former concert lighting assistant. In an anonymous interview leaked on an international forum, he said, "There are specific instructions that set the stage lighting when Taehyung and Jungkook are in one segment of the song, which is usually very emotional. But that time, we were asked to separate their highlights. Even when they're physically close, the lighting should still make them seem like they are from two different worlds." What's the point of all this? Is HYB forming a new perception of both? Or just avoid something that will open old wounds? We cannot forget the moment that is now considered the key to this mystery, when Jungkook said goodbye to his family. Many thought this was just an ordinary trip. But there was one fact that was never really discussed by the Korean media: that Jungkook's departure came a day after he and Taehyung were summoned to creative director HYB's room in person. The call was not scheduled. No documentation staff. There's no standard security staff that usually escorts. Just both. And a top executive who very rarely comes to the surface of the public. What was discussed at the meeting? Why the next day, Jungkook suddenly went abroad without an official release. And why didn't Taehyung come as usual? Sources working on HYB's administrative floor leaked that after the meeting, Taehyung appeared teary-eyed as he exited the room. He's not talking to anyone, even to his own manager. Some of the staff mentioned that he went straight to the rehearsal room, locked himself there, and played the piano in the dark for almost 2 hours. While Jungkook, he only left one sentence in the dressing room before leaving. "Sometimes, leaving is the only way not to hurt." The sentence sticks out like a shadow. Is it intended for someone? For Taehyung? For himself? Or is it for a decision he can't change in the midst of all these chew? If you think that everything has subsided and there is nothing more to question, then you will be surprised at what comes next. Because when the public began to ask, secretly someone from the HYB neighborhood actually broke the silence. A former assistant manager, who has been out since last year, shared the shocking confession anonymously through an international forum of fans. The message is clear and unequivocal. They hide more than you think. The confession describes an atmosphere very different from the warm impression we often see in front of the camera. He mentioned that Taehyung cried in the dressing room after rehearsals in the middle of last year. And even more heart-wrenching, she burst into tears after a closed-door conversation with Jungkook that lasted just 7 minutes. No one knows what is being talked about. No camera. Just both and the silent wall in the cold dressing room. Was it a quarrel? Or is it precisely the separation forced by circumstances? One sentence recorded from the door that opened for a moment was, "If this is all for your good, I will leave." A sentence that makes anyone's heart instantly freeze. But who said that? Jungkook or Taehyung? After that event, the schedules of the two changed mysteriously. Many soldiers realized that they were no longer a single frame in an official photo shoot. In variety shows, their seating positions are always separate. And what is most striking, they no longer mention each other's names in live broadcasts. These changes did not come without repercussions. Hashtags such as hashtag #WhereIsVKOOK and hashtag #ProtectOurBoys began to appear, bringing hundreds of thousands of emotional comments from fans around the world. Some even theorize that there is a silent agreement that forces the two to keep their distance. But if there is, why? What makes HYB feel the need to separate two figures that have been a symbol of BTS's eternal friendship? This suspicion was further strengthened when a Japanese magazine editor, who once worked in a BTS photo shoot in Tokyo, leaked that there was a special request from management not to take close-up portraits of the interaction between Jungkook and Taehyung. "We were asked not to highlight them too much in one frame," he said. "The reason? Because their visuals are too dominant. But we all know that's not the real reason." Is HYB worried about the narrative that the public is building about the closeness of the two? Does that proximity have the potential to interfere with larger projects? Or is it that HYB knows that the relationship between the two is no longer what it used to be and wants to keep the illusion for the sake of brand image? Keep in mind, the relationship between BTS members is not just a personal matter. It is an asset of the company, brand, the collective imagination of millions of people. So when one of the internal relations looks shaky, of course there will be a rescue strategy. But that strategy, if overdone, actually opens up more wounds. One of the moments that came back to life was an old video from 2021, in which Taehyung looks at Jungkook with an expression that's hard to explain, a mixture of nostalgia, loss, and restrained love. The video went viral on TikTok again, but this time in a different context, early hints of their pending breakup. The ARMY began to associate the moment with their latest behavior. One user wrote, "They never pretend. If today they stay away, it must be because there are real wounds. But why should it be hidden? We don't need all the details, but don't make us blind." Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Jungkook was spotted at a family dinner filmed by local paparazzi. In the footage, despite appearing with his family, his face still looks blank. A smile appears only occasionally, and it does not even look like a warm conversation as usual. One behavioral observer even mentioned that Jungkook's face looks like someone who is processing an unfinished loss. The question is again, what to lose? If we look at the patterns that appear, they all seem to form one thin line leading to one dark spot, a hidden event. Not because they want to, but because they have to. Because there are hands that set the narrative behind the scenes. And if so, who is actually being protected? Some fans theorize that this has something to do with their respective solo projects. That HYB want to make sure the image of the two is not too attached to each other in order to maximize personal branding. But if the reason is just that, why hide the video? Delete footage? Control the expression? A lot of ARMY started digging back old videos. Reanalyze each gesture, every look, every song they ever sang together. The song 0 O'Clock, for example, which was once considered just touching, now feels like a hidden message. And you're gonna be happy, but who is really happy now? Not to mention the recording that was accidentally heard.